Hi folks, my name is R. Dwayne Goodwin, CEO and founder of Worldwide Amplified Media Group and DesMoinesAmplified.com. Over 3 years ago, I started this project specifically to help individuals on a local level speak to their passions. And that they did. Everything from faith and values to individuals that want marijuana legalized for medicinal purposes. Doctors, lawyers, and business owners are on our platform speaking to their passions, speaking to their business, and letting folks know what they do and how excited they are about their causes and what their businesses can do for the consumer and other businesses. I've seen excitement that, quite frankly, you don't see in TV and radio anymore. These are individuals that are absolutely enjoying their time each and every week that they come in here. And to tell you the truth, we have individuals across the United States and around the world that are interested in opening branches of Worldwide Amplified Media Group. They want them in Houston, Houston Amplified. They want them in Colombia, Bogota Amplified. They want them in Louisville, Kentucky, Louisville Amplified. All of these individuals are excited about the opportunity that they have themselves to start such a wonderful business in their communities, to serve their communities with such a platform and allow individuals, non-professional individuals that is, to be able to broadcast their passions out to not only a few people, but thousands, if not tens of thousands of individuals locally and worldwide. Do you have meetings each week where you need to get vital information out to your sales teams, to your management team? Well, guess what? Right here, I'm standing in a room where you could do that. We have a smartboard capability here. You can send your message out across the United States, across the state, and around the world. And you can utilize it here at Des Moines Amplified whenever you need it. It's a small fee, pretty nominal. But we'll record everything, audio, video, and if you want CDs made, we'll even make copies for you. If you're interested in advertising with Des Moines Amplified, we've got the package for you. We can put it together. What if you're a large organization and you'd like to be a sponsor of Des Moines Amplified? We have packages for you also. We'll promote you on every page of our website. We'll open and close, coming to you live from the XYZ corporate studios, and brand your company with those words. Again, the bottom line, at the end of the day, it's numbers of people that hear about you, and that'll drive traffic to your front door. Folks, we're going to ask some of these folks today what they think about Des Moines Amplified, right here in the big city of Des Moines, Iowa. We're going to ask them what they think about their shows and what Des Moines Amplified and Worldwide Amplified has done for them. We're going to find out what they think about this project. Luana, you have Brown on Black every single week. Tell me about your show and about yourself.
Well, my name is Luana Nelson Brown, and I am the host of Brown on Black. Luana Nelson Brown on issues in the Black community. And that's exactly what we talk about. We talk about those issues really that affect every community, but we give a loud voice to the African American community because those issues hit our community twice as hard.
Janice Robinson, you have the Robinson Equation. Tell me about your show. Tell me about yourself.
Well, my show is specifically towards women, and it's about helping women learn how to empower themselves. And in the way that I'm inspired about helping women empower themselves is to really teach them a new way of thinking and a new way of maybe asking themselves questions about how to really accomplish the things that they really want to do rather than feeling like they're victims to somebody holding them down or keeping them back, because really it's only the perception of the mind. And the reason why my show is about this is because I used to be a victim where I thought that people were out to get me, or, you know, that somebody was keeping me down, and I had this unrealistic belief. And when I found out that I actually had the power to change or to be powerful the way that I am, I was like, wow, that's really cool. And it's just up here, it's just this 5 inches right here, and I can do that and get past that. Well, then when I realized that, I decided that would be a pretty cool thing to make money at, teaching other people how to do that. So that's what I do that, and with my show I share that as a free service for people so that they can work on their own personal growth.
I'm Paul Harrison, National Director of Reentry Aftercare, and I have a weekly show here called Redefining Safe, where each week we highlight guests, volunteers, organizations, and government agencies that's making a difference on public safety that has some sort of sustainable solution.
My name is Kelly Boone, and I am the host of The Big Boone Theory, and we laugh at the fun and dysfunction.
Jeff, you have a show called Leadership Cocktail. Got to tell you, love that show. I don't look at it just for the drink orders, but I got to say, you really bring up the history about certain cocktails and how they're mixed. But more importantly, tell us about your show and your objective with Leadership Cocktail. And tell us a little bit about yourself, too.
I'm a leadership consultant by trade, and my background is in leadership development and training development. And so this show, Leadership Cocktail, was a great way to promote what I do, but then also it's a great way to identify what's going on in the leadership arena. So I'm bringing in people who are leaders and who I think are effective and successful leaders. So it's a way for me to learn from them, to gather insights from them and what they do, which only enhances my knowledge and my awareness. But we want to have a little bit of fun with it too. So we put a cocktail angle on it. And so the premise is that I'm a bartender. My guest each week is somebody who's come down to the bar. I have a drink special, tell a little bit about the history of the drink, mix the drink for the guest, and then we launch into our discussion. So it's been a great way just to promote leadership. I think it's been a great way to allow people to share some of their insights and knowledge about leadership. And it's just been a fun show.
And I'm Pastor Yolanda on The Voice of Joy. My show is an outreach for those that are hurting, homeless, and the broken, and especially for the widowed women, because I'm a senior myself, so I find it a good instrument to be able to reach out and to touch lives that need restoring. And it's a blessing to be able to get responses from the people that respond. But again, it is The Voice of Joy. I do a singing on there, which also encourages and uplifts spirits, because that's a good way to restore yourself through song, sometimes more than the spoken word.
Tell me how doing a show here has benefited your business.
It has brought tremendous success to my business. My business is Educational Transitions, and what we do is presentations and workshops and seminars. I have workshops and seminars on issues in diversity, and that is where I've seen the most growth, because I'm talking about issues in the African American community. I have viewers who find my show through Facebook or word of mouth, and they are looking to learn about the African American community because their companies are trying to do outreach. And so they see me, I guess, as an expert, even though I have a show where we have guests and my guests are actually the expert. They automatically connect me with the show. And it's very easy once they contact me to say, oh, you like that show? I have a workshop on that. And so I've seen my side business grow about double since I started my show, and it's just been since October. So I would suggest to anyone, especially with a public speaking business or a training business, this is an excellent way to get your topics out, as well as, you know, drawing people to your show, to your side business, and getting more business, making more money.
Well, specifically with my business, it's getting my name out there, it's getting people to understand what it is that I'm talking about, and especially they get to be able to tune into my show so that they know if they're going to hire me for a speaking event, they get an idea of what my personality is about, they understand what I'm teaching about. And a lot of people are attracted to that, especially owners of companies and stuff, because they really want to teach their people how they're accountable and how at the end of the day it's up to them to be able to create the results that they need to create. And so I just think it's a really great venue for people to, you know, check me out and also get the opportunity to learn something.
Your cause has been benefited greatly by being a part of Des Moines Amplified. But let's tell our listeners and viewers how it's benefited you.
The benefits have been tremendous because I've had people who have called me and let me know that their lives were changed. And I have family members that watch. And as far as Las Vegas, Nevada, Hawaii, and Chicago, and I have relatives all over, so they have been watching. And I think that's teachers at school and young people at elementary schools are watching. So it's benefited not only them, but also my life, which helps me in a tremendous way to be able to reach out to others.
We have not only within the first 2 weeks of shows here booked events in Kansas City, North Carolina, and Ohio. We also have more of a national presence on reentry topics and public safety.
You have opportunities to use TV and radio right here in Des Moines, Iowa, some great stations, but why use Des Moines Amplified?
Well, when I first was exposed to Des Moines Amplified, the first thing that came to me was cable access television, thinking about the old shows where anybody who had a show or a premise or idea could go on and talk about whatever they wanted to. And it's a great equalizer. I think it's really a democratic tool. And I think that Des Moines Amplified serves many of the same purposes. For people who have an agenda, people who have something to say, people who have some particular perspectives or insights, it's a way for them to promote that and to share that, again, with a much larger audience than if I was just walking around from office to office or, you know, standing on a street corner potentially. So Des Moines Amplified for me really is a way to expose myself and what I do and my thoughts to a very, very broad audience. By the same token, it's allowed me access to some perspectives and insights that I perhaps would not have had otherwise.
Well, it's interesting because when this whole thing started, in fact, I talked about this on my show today, I had no intention of doing anything like this. I had enough on my plate with the work I was doing and trying to get the word out for Chaos and my art. But two people in two different locations, one I had just met, the other one was a new friend, both said, you need to have your own show. And they were familiar with Des Moines Amplified. One was Matt Wismonski, and he's the one who brought me in. And we had gone up and sat in my art studio, and we're having a glass of wine and talking about the art and in our moment, and I'm describing all my life process and journey through my paintings. And he goes, Kelly, you need a pulpit. You need to have a show. And I thought, well, that's two people in 1 week. I think I'm supposed to do this. And I don't know where it's going to take me. But I'm having a great time doing it, and it's really been, I think, very productive. And one of the things I learned early on that I think is most important about this show is a quote that said, if you want to achieve your goals, help others achieve theirs. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. I'm promoting the people who are on the show with me and helping lift them up.
I love the fact that there's 188 domain names for Des Moines Amplified. One of the first trainings that we had was because a lady Googled re-entry Topeka. And it appeared to her that we were local in Topeka, Kansas, which initiated her initial contact with us, and which resulted in a national training in Kansas City in January.
That is a good question. I tell you, there are so many benefits to being here, and that I'll just start with a few that other places don't have, because there are other studios that you can use. But the benefit to Des Moines Amplified, one, is that there are awesome people that work here. Two, I used to have to run my own boards and do my own camera work. I have a producer who does that now, which makes it very easy, because it's hard to do technology and be a host, especially if you have guests on. 3, I have a training business, and with your Des Moines Amplified membership, you get 2 hours in that back room, the training room, free, and everything in that room is recorded, and then you can expand your audience. So it used to be that I had to, go to people and go to their place of business to give them a training. Now I can record it, give them the recording, and they can play it at their leisure. They can replay it. I've had training departments, use some of my shows actually as training videos, and all I did was my regular weekly show. I think that's one of the unique parts of Des Moines Amplified. The thing that draws me to Des Moines Amplified is all the extras. You've got the training room. You can pre-record shows here without paying extra. That's all included in your monthly fee, and that is the edge I think that Des Moines Amplified has over other stations and other studios. Of course, you could do some things from home for free, but now you're doing all the work. And so this makes it a lot easier so you can concentrate on your side business and do your show professionally, which drives your business.
Well, it just happened to come around at just the right time. In fact, I didn't even know that I wanted to have a radio show. I thought it was pretty fun. I came over here and did some interviews. I was on a couple people's different shows. And I even went over to a couple of the other competitors' facilities and did shows with them a number of times. And they even tried to talk me into going over and being with them. And, Des Moines Amplified is a much better fit. I feel like it's more realistic about the perceptions of the numbers and how we're reaching our market and working together more as a team. And I don't feel like maybe I'm just someone who's stuck in to fill a slot. I feel like I'm actually a valued member of the group, not just someone to make us look like we have lots of people speaking, but just, someone that actually belongs and is an active part of the team.
The fee to broadcast your show is $150 a month. How do you feel? Do you feel that that's a reasonable fee to do what you do here? And is that a reasonable fee based upon the services that we provide here at Des Moines Amplified?
That's above reasonable, because I like music equipment. I'm a singer, so naturally I collect music equipment. And I think that's really a blessing, because $150 a month, when I look at the operator who gives me quality time, and I looked at the equipment, and I feel that's more than fair.
The $150 monthly fee, I think, is very, very reasonable. I've derived some financial benefits from the program, from Leadership Cocktail, but there have also been some intangibles that I think have come out of it. So it's hard to even put a price on those. But just in terms of, trying to advertise what I do, $150 is incomparable compared to what I would have to pay if I were to pay for advertising, print or broadcast advertising. So it's in some ways it's a PR, public relations tool. In some ways it's an advertising tool, and in some ways it's a way to establish my own credibility in the market.
The best bang for the buck of any advertising I've ever spent.
$150 is way reasonable, and I don't even want to tell you that because I don't want you to up it, okay? $150 a month is for everything that you get, really is a steal for me. 2 hours in the back room alone can pay for that $150 a month for me. If I host a training room holds about 30 people, and I charge $10 a piece, I've more than paid for the whole monthly fee. So that $150 a month for everything that I get really is what keeps me at Des Moines Amplified. And don't you dare raise it because I said that. In addition to that, there is that extra bonus that if you bring in other connectors, you get, discounts on your monthly fee. So if you have a good enough show and you get a lot of viewers, you'll inevitably find those people who are passionate about having their own shows, and then the next thing you know, it's free for you, which is better than anything.
For somebody who's barely surviving financially. It's challenging, but I think it's reasonable. I brought 2 people on so far, so my fee is much less than that, and I'm working on a 3rd. I've also looked at getting sponsors, so you know, it's working.
Yeah, actually it is. If you go online, well, anybody can have a radio show anywhere. In fact, anybody can go set up their own radio show and do it out of their own home, do it on the internet, and that fee is at least $250. You know, so I think that fee is really reasonable. When in order to really value something, you have to pay a price for it. And unfortunately, in this particular setting, you actually have to pay a dollar price for it, because when people don't pay for it, they're not really using it, they're not really making it active. And then what you have is you have a bunch of what I call dead weights that are kind of dragging it down, and it's not really helping with the marketing. So I think it's a very reasonable price, and I'm very glad that we do pay that price, because then I know that people that are here are doing it because they really want to do it and they want to make something happen with it.
Why are you so amped up about Des Moines Amplified?
What gets me amped about Des Moines Amplified, just to know that I could come here on Sunday and be on the show, and it's all mine, and I have the freedom to express myself and to be exactly who I am, which is the voice of joy. Okay.
What gets me excited about Des Moines Amplified is I get to do what I enjoy, and I get to have a little bit of fun with it. And probably even better than that, I get to bring in people and help me have a little bit of fun.
Well, one of the things that I really love about it and that turned me onto it in the right off the get is there's a great atmosphere here. I like, there's this sort of Dick Van Dyke feel show of the creative writers, and I love synergy. I love creative synergy. And that feeling of fun. Anytime you can build humor into the workplace, which is what I teach, and have that be an environment of fun, people feel valued and excited to be a part of it. And you feel like you're really doing something powerful. And I think that's a wonderful concept, and I'd like to see that become even bigger here.
Multiple things. I like the fact that we're connectors, not hosts, because the more that we connect and network in a world that prides itself in being socially connected and socially networked, I think we have to add some value to that in placing a what's next. You know, we can have meetings and talk about what we're going to do forever, but what's next? In our show, we end every show with, now you've learned this, what's next? You can contact our guests, you can contact other organizations, which again just increases the connectivity between the organizations that are our partners. But most of all, I love the fact that not only can we use the same technology that we do for our weekly show to provide trainings to people all over the world.
I love that question. That sounds like a Dwayne question. That sounds like you. What gets me amped about Des Moines Amplified really are the people here. We have such a variety of mix of hosts, connectors, a variety of shows that I've actually drawn in business through other hosts. You know, everybody here is friendly, everybody has an open mind. Everyone likes to talk, of course. You better if you have a talk show, right? And I just like coming in here every week. I've had corporate positions before where I hated going into my office. I love coming into Des Moines Amplified, and I think the staff here that work Monday through Friday, 8 to 4:30, are probably tired of seeing and talking to me. So if nothing else, if talk show is your passion, if sharing issues is your passion, this is a friendly, fun environment to be in, and everybody here is always up to try something new. New ideas are seen as blessings and not curses here. So that's what really gets me amped about Des Moines Amplified.
Well, the name alone, Des Moines Amplified! No, I think what really gets me amped about Des Moines Amplified is there's been a lot of changes that have occurred in the last year. And I can really see that there's focus and vision behind it. And that really, I think that's the other reason why I chose to go with Des Moines Amplified, is because there's a vision and there's a purpose behind it. It's not just a person promoting their show. It's about Des Moines Amplified and the national vision that's going on with it.
I really appreciate that, and have to tell you, I appreciate the hard work and effort you put into this project. Well, there it is, folks. Here's some individuals that are actually using the platform. Absolutely are excited and, yes, amped about what they're doing. Give us a call. The number's at the bottom of the screen. Check us out online, DesMoinesAmplified.com, whether you want to open up your own amplified studios or you'd like to have a show. Thanks, and have a great day.